everyone, welcome in. Thanks for joining us today. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see we have a special guest. If you're just listening, my cat's right up here sitting with me. He's wanting some extra attention today, so we'll see if he leaves the mic stand alone. But anyways, I want to jump right into today's episode. We are talking all about how to feel good and raise your energy. So we'll talk about what that all means, but what you need to know is that this episode is going to be all about how you are going to have the tools, have the possibility of feeling good regardless of outside circumstances, regardless of the chaos that's ensuing around you. You can have the relaxation within yourself to feel good, to feel calm. And you'll be able to not only realize that your internal world creates your external reality, but have the experience of knowing that you are in control of your internal world. You might not be able to control your external circumstances, but you can always control how you respond. And so getting into today, it's going to be all about how you can put the power back into your hands to create your own reality by first focusing on your internal world. So you heard me mention your internal reality creates your external reality. And what we're going to focus on today is just that, your internal reality. Because when you master your internal reality and you can create the experience of what you'd like to experience before it even happens, you start to attract that. And when we talk about raising our energy, a lot of the times it's talked about in that context. Okay, you need to be this in order to have this. You first have to be the person, embody who that person is in order to have what they have, in order to live the life they live. While this is true, there's also a lot to be said about raising your energy simply for its own sake. When you hear people talk about, yes, in order to attract having more money, you need to raise your energy. In order to be more magnetic and attract better quality people and partners, you've got to raise your energy and raise your charisma. In order to be more famous, you've got to raise your energy so you can rise to stardom. And while, yes, it does work like that, knowing how to raise your energy will change your external reality, because the outside is just a reflection of the inside world. What you also might want to understand is feeling good is simply for its own sake at a certain point. Okay, say you do attract all of these things eventually, the stardom, the partner, the love, the appreciation, the notoriety, the money. But if you didn't feel good, what is that all even for? And so at a certain point, it becomes less about getting everything, while that will come with par of the course, right? But it becomes about, okay, well, what do I want to experience? Who do I want to be? Not just about, okay, who do I need to be in order to get something, but who do I want to be? What type of life would I want to live that I wake up every day feeling excited to be me? And I go out into the world and it doesn't matter if it's reciprocated. It's who I am. It doesn't matter if other people get it or they don't get it. It's what I enjoy doing. It's what I enjoy being. And today's episode, I'm going to help you step into feeling that relaxation and feeling that just deep calm and confidence within yourself, so that you can just feel good as yourself. Because like I said, it doesn't do much for you if you have everything that you want, but the inside is lacking. That being said, it's just a reflection of your internal world, your external world. So as you start feeling good, you're going to start to put out those feel-good vibes. And when you go out into public in that feel-good state, man, if you tune in here before, you know what I have to say about this. Only the best things come your way. People see you out and about. Why is that girl so happy? Why is that girl so grounded? Why is she like that? And people want to know about you. They get curious because you're so interested. You're so amazed by the world that you live in. People start to say, she seems interesting. So as we raise our energy, yes, it is for its own sake and it's for your own enjoyment, but it will change your life too. So before I even get into specific tools or ways that I raise my energy when I'm feeling low, there needs to be a foundation. The foundation of feeling good and having high energy, high vibration, high consciousness is a simple foundation. I said simple, but not easy. But it's super important that I mention this, because if you are missing the foundation, you cannot build upon the foundation. If you are missing the foundation, if it is unstable, your house is not being built on steady ground. And you will wonder, why am I not feeling good? Why am I doing all the things, yet my house feels shaky? Well, it's because the foundation wasn't secured. The foundation, although it's simple, it's going to be nutrition, health, your physical safety, your physical well-being. That has to first be secured and taken care of before you can start to say, okay, well, now I'm going to attract all of these higher pursuits, like getting into attracting love and getting into attracting just enormous abundance and getting into feeling ecstatic and amazing on a daily basis. First, you have to eat food that makes you feel good. And I know, okay, this is maybe not what you want to hear right off the jump, but it would be irresponsible for me to leave that out. It can be overcomplicated, but when you are putting attention, at least on that area, you're giving it some love, and you'll start to learn what is best for you. At a certain point, nutrition is not your focal point. It's not really a big area of interest, but you have enough discernment to know what foods make you feel good, what foods do not make you feel good, what's not helpful to you, what makes you feel good. And if you want to get a little bit of help on that, I mean, you can see which foods are super far removed from their natural state. If you're looking at something to eat and you're like, I can't even tell what that used to be, I don't even know how that's made, it's just complete lab food, maybe it's not the best. Sometimes eating processed foods is enjoyable, part of the human experience, right? But it's about balance, and it's about trade-offs. So the closer you get to nature, the closer you get to doing your own thing is better. And I won't even say better, but it's going to be a little bit more in alignment for what your body prefers, most likely. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these things, but it's the same thing with exercise. Getting in some basic movement. You don't have to be a pro. You don't even have to have a gym membership. You are watching this on a phone. You have everything that you need to succeed. Even if you didn't have a phone, you still would, because you have your physical body. And your physical body is all that's required for physical movement, right? So walks in nature, like healing, really healing. Runs in nature. Nike Run Club app. I just put you on, okay? Nike Run Club app. If you are a beginner at running, I've been using that. I love this app. It has a little coach that talks into your ear. Oh, it's so good. Biking, if you have a bike. Going outside and doing yoga, or doing yoga inside. You have your phone. Pilates. You can do that on your phone. I have people that tell me, Siva, I don't have enough money right now to go to Pilates class. And they're talking about like reformer Pilates. Do floor Pilates. That's like the foundation of Pilates. You can master floor Pilates and you still be getting so much exercise in, and there would be still so much to learn before you even need to get to reformer Pilates. So don't overlook all of the benefits, all of the resources that we have. Like, the easiest thing to do is say, oh, I don't have enough resources. I can't because I'm missing this. I can't go on a run. I don't have headphones. I can't do this, that, and the third. I need better shoes. Like, literally, your mind will come up with a 101 reasons why you can't, why you shouldn't, why you won't. Like, that's the nature of the mind. But you, having a soul, you can override those intentions and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what's important to me. It's important for me to get some physical health. And it doesn't really matter what that needs to look like. It's just going to happen. So like I said, I don't want to spend forever on this, but ensuring your physical well-being is the most foundational part of this. And if you don't have that, at least something that you're working on and working on improving. Because don't get me wrong, even if you are a bodybuilder, bodybuilders aren't like, okay, now I have my routine, it's forever set, my fitness is set. Your body's constantly changing. You are growing as a person. Every type of fitness plan is going to be evolving with you. So if you're like, I'm not perfect yet, welcome to the club, congratulations, because everybody is not perfect yet, or there wouldn't be any more to explore. And that's the amazing part. You can be so like deep into mastery in one area of your fitness, and then you get to explore another area. Wow, I've been weightlifting for 10 years. Now I get to explore running. Wow, I'm super flexible, super great at yoga, but now I get to experience strength training and doing rowing. There's so many options for physical wellness. And if you need help with this in a way that's really accessible, look up Meetup. On Meetup, there's like exercise groups. In my city, there's free yoga. Take steps in your health and your physical wellness. And that goes for if you're in situations that, like, hopefully this isn't the case, but if you're in situations that are just unsafe to you, leaving. If you are not feeling safe in your environment, finding another environment, even if that seems scary to do. You have to secure your foundation, but it's not likely that that's your situation. So we'll get on to other areas. Another important, possibly overlooked area that's foundational is sleep. Are you allowing yourself to get enough hours of sleep in the day? I mean, and it's probably really nice to experiment with this. I mean, especially if you're a woman, maybe getting extra sleep, even 10 hours of sleep can be helpful. It depends on different things, of course, but finding a way to get that extra sleep if you need it, maybe taking a nap through the day, a micro nap, and not resisting when your body needs those things. And that can be people too. If someone in your life is no longer serving you, even if it's challenging, sometimes it's time to say goodbye. Or it can be toxins. I found out the other day, my intuition told me to ask about a client's environment, and I found out she has mold in the home. And that's one of those things where if there's a toxin, it can be kind of a challenge to find out about it. But there are things that you can do afterwards to heal the body and stuff like that. Whether it be food, whether it be sleep, if you are missing one of the foundational parts of your energy bank, we'll call it, it becomes a really big deal. And you would be surprised by just shifting one little tiny thing in your foundation, how it will make the biggest difference. If it was eating a little bit healthier, or getting rid of a toxin, or getting a little bit of more physical movement. A small shift like that can do an incredible amount for your energy, because it's constantly taxing your body to have to worry about these foundational things. Even if you're still working on securing your foundation, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Everything's always a work in progress. You'll still be able to use these tools to help you get there. And it's just important to know, okay, foundations in place, and then from there you can really build on top of that and have a stable place to live on. So with that being said, we're going to talk about how to feel good on those days. Maybe you're just feeling like meh, or maybe you're feeling even below meh. There's ways and ways where you can even use these for feeling good to feel even better. Because the better that you feel, the more energy that you exude, and the better things that you attract, and the better life that you will have. Because the more that you feel good, you're going to start a feel-good cycle. So you go out into the world, you're feeling good. You attract a situation, maybe a person that helps you raise your energy even more. The interaction makes you feel so amazing. So you leave that feeling even better. Then you go on to the rest of your day and you end up feeling better and better and better. And then the next day it kind of repeats and repeats. The opposite of that is waking up on the wrong side of the bed and you're like, already it's going to be one of those days. You don't feel good, you have an argument in the morning, then you go out, someone at work pisses you off, then in traffic on the way home, someone pisses you off, and by the time you get home, you're feeling so much worse than you did when you left the house. And so instead of saying, oh, it's just one of those days, it just sucks, I want you to know that you have the power to change what's going on in your internal world. Even if that person did cut you off in traffic, which is a minor example, it's not up to them to control your emotional state. You are the one who holds the reins over how you feel, what you say, what you do, and like I said at the beginning, how you feel. So no one can make you mad. No one can make you sad. Now, we're gonna get into the details of allowing something to come up and processing versus just getting lost in your negative emotions and letting that lower your state. There's a huge difference here. But these are some ways that you are going to be able to feel good within yourself. So, first way is an exercise. This is very personal to you. I can't say these are the things that are going to light your soul up, because my soul and your soul at a level are not the same. So the things that really excite you are not what's going to light me up. So your assignment, first of all, is writing a list of things, whether it be things that take 5 minutes, whether it be things that take an hour, a mix of both, of things that excite you. What is it? Is it going outside on a walk? Is it talking to your mom on the phone? Is it not talking to your mom on the phone? Just kidding. Love you, Mom. Is it going and shopping? Is it baking? And maybe a little bit more creative than just shopping or watching TV, but like making art. Is it writing poetry? Is it singing? What are those things in your life that you do them and afterwards you're like, wow, I really needed that. Some people even say it like the gym. I didn't really want to go to the gym, but after, I just felt so good. So pause this and take some time to write that list. Welcome back. That is your method. And I'll give you some ones that you can do that I know for sure will raise anybody's energy, just about, unless they're already feeling pretty enlightened, you know what I mean? But with you being you just have to have the awareness to implement these things. But once you made the plan for yourself, it makes it so much easier. Every single day, really, you want to have something in your life off of that list. Do what you love and do it often. This is the recipe for a great life that not only feels good to you, but is impactful to others. So, say it's that day where you're just not feeling good. I want you to start living the story instead of the outside world just happens to me. I just am having a bad day. I want you to know that you create every second. You create every minute. You create every hour. You create every day. You create every week. You're creating every month. You're creating every year. You're creating all the decades, and you're creating your lifetime. But it all starts in those seconds that you are managing. You're managing your seconds. So seeing yourself as the creator of your seconds is what helps you see yourself as the creator of your hours and your days and your years and your life. So getting control, getting navigation of what you're doing in your seconds and your days is what's going to push you towards that life that you desire. So putting the things that you excite in your days, no matter what the cost is, okay? There's going to be a million reasons that you come up with, okay, I'm too tired to do this. I don't feel like it. But the thing is, if this is your excitement list, if you're tired, this is going to help you. If you don't feel like it, you feel like meh, this is going to help you. Don't think about it in terms of this is going to take energy, but this is going to give energy. One of the best things that my fitness coach ever told me was, instead of avoiding your exercise because it's going to take energy, think about it as the means of getting energy. Because if you exercise, you know, after exercise, you don't necessarily feel tired. You feel energized. You feel ready to go. So if you're not feeling it in the moment, that's good. That's fine. You're going to get the energy from doing the action. So instead of saying, oh, I'll put it off to someday, know that, hey, this is your way of getting that momentum. This is the way of feeling good. And I challenge you, put some things that excite you in your life again. get some of that life force energy going. But if you need some more ideas, and if you need to know certain things that I do for my life, here you go. So say it's that day, and I want to loop back to that. Say it's that day and you're like, oh, it's not a good day. First of all, we want to change that story, and we want to remind ourselves, wait a minute, I create each second, I create each minute, so I'm going to create this day. This day is fantastic because I said so. This day is fantastic because I said so. And so we're going to start being the creators of our life through our story. The stories that you tell yourself are one of the most impactful things that you do. So by creating that story alone, you're raising your energy. This is a fantastic day. This is a phenomenal day. This is a healthy day. This is an incredible day because I said so, because it gets to be, because I'm creating it that way. It's so amazing that I get to enjoy this day just because it is. Because I woke up today. Because I got to be me today. This is such a blessing. And maybe you don't actually feel that way, but you can start to move your thoughts in that direction. And maybe you kind of saw it in my body language if you're watching, or maybe you heard it in my voice. But as soon as I got into a flow of grateful for the day, then I started to feel it. So maybe you start speaking out loud. Words are a little bit more manifest than just your thoughts. So if you really want to energize something in your life, this is free game. Listen up here. If you really want to energize something in your life, speak on it. Your word, especially if you keep your word, and head back to my speech mastery podcast if you need help with that and knowing what that means. If you're fully in alignment with your word is power. First there was the word, and the word was God. So if you have the power of creation through your tongue, you speaking on something, this day is incredible, this day is amazing, my life is amazing, I get to do what I love every single day, I'm passionate, I am healthy, I am loved. This is incredible. Like, you're speaking so much life, and you are putting your energy, you are creating your life. The spoken word has a powerful way of helping you create that what you desire. So if you want to magnetically charge something and give it a lot of energy, whether it be the way you feel about yourself, whether it be a partner, a thought that you want to believe, anything, speak on it to others, speak on it to yourself. So part of how you can raise your energy is by changing your story and changing what you're speaking about, and energizing by either speaking or thinking or acting. But back to our original intention of, okay, you're having a bad day, then you go, you know what? It's my day, my way, and we're changing the frequency. It's a fantastic day because I said so, and because I'm alive. So then you might still feel like in your body, you're like, meh, like, okay, it can be a good day, but I'm just not feeling it yet. So what you're going to learn in this experience is that when you are feeling meh, you can take yourself out of it, because your external circumstances don't dictate your internal circumstances. And if you're just feeling internally meh, you can always change that. It's not forever. This too shall pass, right? So when you are in that situation, there's a few things you can do. Going back to your excitement list, you can always do one of those. But if you're wanting to just raise your energy, movement is going to be an amazing way to just get more energy, because you're in motion. You're literally creating energy. This might be a little bit more creative through dancing, through standing in an inversion. Like sometimes I'll do a little headstand to switch the flow up. Sometimes that might be jumping. It might be singing along and dancing and getting movement, or just shaking your body, literally shaking it out. Moving can be a great way of just doing a whole reset. Have you ever seen a toddler throw a tantrum? They're moving in a very specific manner, because processing can also involve, shaking or kicking, or, whatever the body feels can help it get rid of that frequency, or technically like even it out if it doesn't feel great, right? So stepping into your body and seeing what your body wants can help you in this situation. Okay, do I need to sit down? Do I need to stand up? Do I need to lay down? Do I need to run around? Do I need water? Do I need some food? And getting in tune with yourself. You can always come to a seat, close your eyes, take a breath, and say, what is my body asking? What is my soul asking? What do I need? What do I need right now? But other ways that you can raise your energy is by just hyping yourself up. Like I said, speaking on something, whatever you want to energize, you can find out a way to energize it. If you want to energize the thought, I'm beautiful, you can figure out a way that you can energize that by putting on something that makes you feel beautiful, even if you only have 5 minutes, and just appreciating beauty in maybe a flower or in something else. It doesn't matter how you do that as long as you get in touch with the frequency. Maybe you want to step into imagination and creativity. You could script. You could create something. You could create art. If you have 5 minutes on your phone, you could create a poem. You could get, instead of into consuming because you want to relax or because you're upset, you could get into creation. And that will create your experience better than just consuming information or consuming relaxation, or really it's not really relaxation, it's fake relaxations. Hypnotism, hypnotics. You're being hypnotized is what I'm getting at. Instead of just getting into a trance, you can actually learn to relax. You can take a deep breath. A great way to get some energy is to get some oxygen. A lot of people have a shallow breathing pattern and they don't realize it. And when you consciously deepen your breathing, you might even get lightheaded because you're getting so much oxygen and you're not used to that amount of oxygen. But just by intentionally breathing, you can raise your energy. So I just gave you a long list of things that you can do in this situation. Now let me get a little bit clearer on what is processing and allowing your emotions to come up versus raising your state. Because I talk a lot about, okay, allow your feelings to come up. It's great. We want to feel bad sometimes. We want to let go of things that no longer serve us. But the thing is, if you're getting lost in sorrow for 3 days, that's not processing. That's a terrible excuse. That's not necessary to do. So there needs to be a clear line drawn when it comes to processing versus just raising your state. So processing can be very helpful if something has come up that's hit a button, and maybe that's why your day feels kind of off, because something came up and it triggered you. So what you want to do in that situation is give yourself space. Part of raising your energy might be literally digging up old things, letting them go, surrendering that, and then focusing on what you prefer and creating that and energizing that. So you can allow it to come up and feel it in your body. Maybe you saw something that upset you, it triggered jealousy, or it triggered anger. You can notice that anger in your body. You can give it some space. Something that might be really helpful is feeling, okay, where is that anger in my body? Where is it not in my body? Where's the border? Because when you can feel the border, you can start to feel outside of yourself. Your feeling of sensation doesn't just stop at your body. It goes into your complete energetic field. And once you can feel outside of that feeling, it has a time and an end to it. You can start to feel relief and you start to expand that feeling, because what a negative feeling is contracted energy. So once you start to expand and feel outside of it, it feels lighter. You can feel, okay, my pain is here. It is not here. And you can just notice that and get a little bit more expansive. And when you allow it to be with you, seriously, just sitting and being with it, like listening to a past version of yourself that really has something important to tell you, without resistance, without making it wrong. You'll allow it to come up, and if you're doing it right, instantly it will be gone, because you've allowed it to expand to the point where it's no longer feelable. You've allowed it to go from being super contracted and stuck in your body to opening up and being so diffused that it just melts away. It's not a problem anymore. And when that happens, you'll know it happens because you might even forget what you were thinking about. Like, you might feel high. You might just relax, and it'll feel like a weight off of your shoulders. it'll just feel incredible. And you'll feel that relief. And then at that point, when you feel that relief, then you can go into, okay, I just spent some time thinking about what I didn't want, feeling that, processing that. What do I want? What do I prefer? What's my preferred reality? And then you can energize that thought more. So now what you've done is you've not only just cleared something out that will raise your habitual vibration because the thing won't trigger you anymore, but now you're attracting what you prefer because you re-energize that. You put more attention on that and you reprogrammed your subconscious to prefer the preferred outcome. So it will automatically direct you to what you want. So what you can do is notice yourself processing and picking what you prefer. But that doesn't mean getting lost and feeling bad for 3 days. If there's no relief, you are not processing. If there is no relief, you are not processing. And you're missing something to processing. You're either resisting it, you're habituating it, meaning you're dragging out a drama somehow, or not that, I'm not saying that you're wrong for that, but there's something that you're re-energizing it instead of letting it come up, witnessing it and having it melt away. You are keeping it in place somehow. And with that, there's no relief. And it's not processing. What you're doing is you're re-energizing it. You're calling it closer. I want more. Give me more is what you're saying. So processing is the complete opposite, because when you let it go, it's crazy because you can almost forget that you even had that problem. If you've really let something go, if you've really surrendered it, it's not even on your mind anymore. The problem that you've been struggling with for the past year, the problem that you've had your entire life is no longer on your mind. You forget about it. That's why it's super important to also keep track of what you're doing, because it's easy to say, none of this stuff is working. Forgetting, because it literally works so well that you're forgetting where you came from. So when you've processed something, it is gone. It's nowhere to be found. You see what I'm saying? So that's the biggest difference between processing and just habituating something, just keeping it going and going. You don't ever want to use feeling good as a excuse to not process. It happens a lot where people are like, I'm just going to shake this off and I'm not going to think about it. But the thing is, if you need to process, one of two things are going to happen. Your body says, okay, that's fine. We'll hold on to it for another day that you can process it. And then maybe the next day, maybe next week, maybe the next month, it comes up again. Maybe it comes up even harder and you'll get to face that choice again. Do we want to process this now or do we want to process it later? But it's not helpful to keep that, because you're just keeping it attracted to you because you're holding it. It's like holding butterfly bomb and being like, well, why are the butterflies coming? As soon as you let that go, you're not affected by it if it does come to you. But then when it does come, it's like you're not interacting with it, so you don't keep attracting it. It's not important anymore. And for the most part, you're not attracting it. And it's not attracted to you anymore because it's not within you, right? So feeling good is not a way for you to say, okay, I'm not going to look at these things that are clearly triggering me. I'm not going to process something that clearly wants to be heard, felt, and seen. I'm just going to ignore it so I can feel good. That's not what we're doing here. Feeling good is all about choosing to be in the frequency that you want to be. And sometimes that can look like, okay, there's some shit I have to look at. There's some shit that's making me uncomfortable. And we have to just sit in pain for maybe 5 minutes until this diffuses. It can take a long time to diffuse something, but who cares? It wants to be let go of. It wants to be felt, heard, and seen. But most of the time, you can feel something, have some relief at least, because sometimes you'll need to do multiple sessions if it is that long of a thing and you don't want to spend the whole day with something. But you can feel a layer being peeled off and you feel some relief, and then you can raise your energy. And when you let go of something, automatically you feel your energy raised because you're not wasting energy keeping that contracted. When we have all of these trapped emotions, it takes a span of our energy keeping it in. It's literally like, imagine you had a bowl of fruit and you're like trying to walk around holding all the fruit from spilling. And because we unlearn having emotional reactions. It's not correct publicly, or we try to intellectualize things instead of processing it at a body level. And so our body is just like, okay, we'll save this for someday. We'll bring something up. The universe creates something where you do have to process it. But at that point, it's like, it's to help you. Everything is here to help you. But when it feels forced, it doesn't feel as empowering. So for example, in my life, every single day I get the chance to process something. Nothing possibly bad could happen to me, because it's a chance for me to get to process, even if it's like the worst thing that you could imagine. Like, oh my gosh, I was humiliated. Oh my gosh, someone treated me so poorly. It's a chance for me to literally sit with that if it bothers me, let it go, and then it doesn't bother me anymore. So literally everything that happens in your life is for your advantage. You get an exact, a game for you. You get an exact cue of things that you need to process. You get gifts every single day to help you get forward. So instead of choosing to, in your life, make people wrong for how they treat you, or whatever happened in the situation, take it as an opportunity. Okay, we might not have been aligned, but that person was a gift to me. Hallelujah, praise the Most High. Thank you for sending me that person, because the way they acted, it pushed on one of my buttons, and I got to experience that button being pushed, process all of the things from childhood that brought up, all of the repressed memories that I hadn't thought of in 10 years. Literally, could be stuff from when you're 5. And now I can just let that go. I know that these actions didn't have anything to do with me. I feel freer. I feel lighter. I feel closer to source. I feel alive. I feel electric. Thank you for showing me that. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, and thank you for allowing me to process it. And so every single challenge in your life starts to become an opportunity, because you are using it to your advantage. But someone else in that situation could just double down. They could say, that man didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated. All men are terrible. It has everything to do with me. It's who I am. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. And they could make themselves even heavier, even more sunken into a place that they just don't want to be. So it goes back to, who do you want to be? And if you want to be that person that's elevating and that's aligning, use your gifts, use your resources. I promise you, everything is here to help you. And when you start looking at your life as like, aha, this is a moment for me. This is a lesson that I get to experience. Not only will it make processing a breeze, like you just get to sit there with yourself and like love on different parts of yourself. Aw, okay, you felt this way in childhood. Okay. It makes it like unconditional love, right? You get to be in that experience. But it just doesn't faze you that much. And well, it didn't have much to do with me. It has to do with them. And I just got to process. And that being said, it doesn't mean you should accept poor treatment, because the thing is, we exist in a place in the universe where we have all of these different frequencies in the same place, being able to be in contact with each other, right? So you might still come in contact with people who are liars, people who are cheaters. At a certain level of consciousness, who knows? Maybe that doesn't happen. But you might still come in contact with people who are that way. But you won't take it personally. It's not about you. And it won't get to you. It's like they don't have power over you. And B, you don't make it to mean much. For example, if you had this story that, oh, I always attract lying men. Every time you see a man lie, you're like, see, it's me. And it hurts you so bad. But now if I saw a man lie, it's just like, well, what a weird situation, honestly, because that doesn't happen much, right? And it doesn't really have anything to do with me. I'm not taking it to mean anything. That's him. And I get to realign. Even if it does trigger you, okay, that triggered me. I get to process it and I get to heal from it. And I get to have the space to do that. It doesn't mean you say, okay, I'll keep that person around for processing. No, that doesn't align. I'm not available for anything but the highest truth. Thank you. That simple. And it becomes an alignment game too. Okay, well, do you want this experience? Because you're holding on to that frequency that, attracts that and triggers you. Do you want the lying person? Okay, no, I don't. I'll process it and then I'll say no, thank you. But you also get to decide in that situation. You're being granted this opportunity. Do you want to go further down that path? Maybe you do. Sometimes people go for years in a path that we think is less than ideal, but who are we to say? Like, we don't know their soul. They might want to experience something in a lifetime that we don't necessarily know about. So it's literally up to you what you want to experience. Back to what I'm saying about you create your second, you create your minute. So use the opportunities around you for processing, raising your energy, and choosing. Okay, this is awesome that that's happening. Do I want to keep giving attention to it? Do I want to follow it? Or do I want to retreat my attention and put it on something else and follow a different path? There's so many possibilities. Which one do I want to choose? It goes down to creating beliefs for yourself and anchoring that belief in. So, like, for example, I have a client that was having a hard time driving after being in an accident. So we did some things to help process that accident and then putting her attention on what she prefers and being confident. And so when you anchor yourself in this new confident identity, then you start looking around. Your subconscious is looking for proof. Give me the proof. Where am I confident? Aha! You find one piece of evidence. Maybe it's even from your past. Maybe it's something that you experience now. But then it's proof. And you keep using it. Okay, I was confident then. I feel a little more confident. Okay. And then the next time you feel even more confident, and that produces a confident result. And so you start being in this cycle and you've created a new identity. So creating your beliefs, if you have the right prerequisite, you don't want to try to create a belief that you just don't believe, but like we did some work to help her feeling confident, right? But creating your beliefs and then re-energizing them. Every single time something happens, wow, that happened. I'm so powerful. Wow, that negative situation with a guy happened. Wow, I'm so discerning. I'm so loving towards myself. I always pick out what I prefer. And whatever it is that you believe, just anchoring that in. And you can use this on the bad days too. Okay, if I'm in fear, there's an anchor that I learned years and years ago. I'm a warrior. I act in spite of fear. Every single time I've had something come up that really scares me, even if it's like I'm propelling off of the rock climbing wall, I'll just say, I'm a warrior. I act in spite of fear. And I've repeated that so much in a state of fear and then did it anyways that I've literally, like, maybe you would say Pavlov. I've Pavloved myself so that my nervous system already knows the deal. My fear completely, it doesn't necessarily go away, but it shifts. It goes from focus on the fear to just going and doing, right? So anytime that I'm afraid, I have that anchor in my back pocket. Okay, well, it's okay because I'm a warrior and I act in spite of fear. So it doesn't really matter the situation. And I'm telling you, creating positive anchors like this will serve you, because if I ever was in a situation where I was just really afraid and I was afraid to take the first step, it's like, well, I'm a warrior. I act in spite of fear. My body already knows the deal. And all I have to do is state that, literally state that. And it's such a powerful statement to my subconscious at this point that it just takes me where I want to go. So maybe you make an anchor for whatever area of your life and you keep repeating that anchor. Okay, well, I just attract such amazing men who take care of me, provide, protect, and build. Wow, I'm so abundant. I just have such great luck when it comes to connecting with abundance, and money always appreciates me. Wow, I am so magnetic. Every time I go out, I feel so beautiful. Like I already told you about doing the pre-work, and don't try to create a belief that you just don't flat out believe. But when you start to re-energize phrases, when you start to energize phrases like this, it will start to be integrated into your identity. Even if you believe it only a little bit at first, and you find that one piece of proof in your life, and you say, oh my gosh, I'm abundant, girl, I'm abundant. Then the next time it happens, you're like, oh my gosh, I really am abundant. Then the next time it happens, like, holy shit, I'm abundant. And then the next time it happens, I'm abundant. It's already, I'm abundant. It's just me. It's who I am. So creating those anchors for yourself can help you on the days that are bad, on the days that are just not working. Because, hey, I'm a warrior. I act in spite of fear. Even at my worst, I accept myself. And so, like, literally, create beliefs that you want to believe. There's this idea that, like, beliefs are right or wrong. Like, is it true that only men only want skinny women? Is it true that people who are poor can't get money? Is it true that, all of these things, and people having debates about it? The thing is, only believe what you want to be true. Only believe things that are going to support you, because your beliefs create your reality, because they create your perception, they filter your perception, and they change how you see things, and they change what you allow yourself to interact with, because the thing that your ego, your mind wants most in the world is to be right. So instead of asking yourself, is my belief true? Ask, is this the belief that I want to have? It's a much better question. Is it true that I'm ugly? Or what do you want to believe? I am beautiful. It doesn't really matter. Like that's a question that people can get stuck on. Am I ugly? It's like, okay, well, do you want to believe that? It doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't really matter what one person would say or what another person would say. What do you want to believe? And when you figure out what you want to believe, start energizing that. But that is enough to get you out of feeling meh or bleh on a bad day and get you to feeling freaking magnetic, like back to being yourself. Doing everything that I listed in this episode could get you in a drastically different place in like a very short amount of time. So if you are ready to implement all these things and be held accountable to be the amazing co-creator that you are and discover firsthand your power to create your reality, please contact me and we can start integrating these into a personalized plan that gets you the results that you're looking for. So, or DM me or reach out to me. All of my socials are at Siva's Soul, and I have a link in my bio. You can always just reach out and DM me. But I'm telling you, easily implementing these tools and having someone to help guide you to those places that, I don't really want to look at my fear of abandonment. I don't really want to look at all of the times in my life where I've put myself down. Having someone there that helps you process it and helps you get to focus on what you prefer and will make you go do the harder things. It's invaluable. And it's something that I deeply believe in, and it's something that I want to show you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I appreciate you so much for tuning into this episode. If you feel inclined, follow along so you can see the next one. Like or comment, it helps a lot, and I appreciate you so much. You are an amazing badass. Princess, goddess, prince, king, whatever the case may be. I appreciate you. I love you so much. Mwah! Catch you next time.